Everyone. I think from past 1 hour I've been watching. I think we could hardly hear anyone clap nor any make any noise. Now that we are going to have children, I think definitely the purpose of all of us today is to ensure that we motivate the students. Can we have a big round of applause as I call each child? As I call each child, please. So I'll start off with Ishan. Ishan is from the Global Edge School, Kokapet. Can I have Ishan on the stage, please? I think it can be still louder. I can't hear anything at all, actually. Sri Sai from Pragati School. Sri Sai from Pragati School. Sri Sai from Pragati School.
I can just bend it for you.
Thank you so much. Shekhar from Brahman Talent School. I'm sorry, Shrikar from Brahman Talent School. Shrikar. Akshay from Gitanjali Senior School. Karan from Silver Oak International, Oak Winds. Rosalina from Vista International School. Rosalina. Nivedita from the Gaudium School. Nivedita from the Gaudium School. Neerav from the Gitanjali Devashri. Neerav. Ananya from the Iris Florist. That's it, there are only 9. So now can we have a big round of applause for all the children who are seated over here? Okay. So today we have a panel of students who are going to talk about how this new tool which they have is going to help them in future, keeping in mind about the ethics, the creativity, as well as the critical thinking. So without taking much of the time, I will start the questions. We have divided the entire panel into 2 segments. One is about ethics and responsibility. The other one is about creativity and critical thinking. Each student gets 2 questions to answer, 2 minutes for you to answer, not further because they keep telling us about the time. In all, we have 45 minutes. It's 3:30 in my watch. So by 4:15 is supposed to be, we are going to wind up. So my first question goes to Ishan from the Global Edge School. Ishan, what does responsible use of AI mean to a student in today's world?
Thank you so much, Mom, for the introduction. So when we talk about responsible use of AI for students, so what we're really talking about, at least for me, is how we interact with the technology that can really help us improve how we learn, while also quietly replace how we think. So it's a double-edged sword, basically. AI is already part of our daily lives in so many ways. We use it while revising, researching, writing documents. So responsibility is not about just avoiding it anymore. There's no point in avoiding it. It's already all around us. If we avoid it, we cannot survive in this world without AI anymore. So we need to use it, but then we need to learn to use it properly. So how do we learn to use AI properly is the question. So I think the starting point is simply recognizing what AI can do and what AI cannot do. So it can do things like explaining things to you, or explaining a chapter, organizing notes, or suggesting ways to approach a question. But it cannot shape how you think. It cannot give you. It cannot, help you learn, help you memorize something. So it cannot learn a syllabus for us, take responsibility for something that we propose. And yeah, that is entirely up to us. It is still up to us, but it will always be up to us. When students use AI to deepen understanding rather than as a substitute for understanding, that is what I call proper use of AI. At the same time, we need to be alert of the fact that AI gets things wrong quite often, almost every day, in fact. And it reflects biases from its learnings almost every day. We see it a lot. So we need to question what it tells us constantly. That is very important when we're using AI. We need to question what it tells us. We need to raise questions. We should never just take what AI tells us and use it blindly. If anything, AI should be able to push us to use our mind more creatively, more critically, rather than pushing us backwards. So there is a broader context too. When we use an AI tool, our prompts, our habits, our words, they shape how the AI thinks. So yeah, that we need to keep that as well in mind. So this awareness of privacy, how our thoughts shape AI, that is very important to moderate how we use AI and how.
Ishan, 2 minutes are done, so we need to go to the next person.
Sure,
Okay.
thank you so much.
I'm sorry if I'm cutting you guys in between, keeping the time in best interest. So Ishan feels that AI is part of us. We definitely need to use it, and we need to be conscious about how we are going to use it. That makes us more responsible. My next question goes to Sri Sai from Pragati Central School. Sai, is the mic with you, right? So my question to you is, how do you decide when using AI becomes unethical or crossing a boundary? How do you decide about that?
Yes, ma'am. So firstly, good afternoon to everyone present here. I would like to take a moment to thank all the wonderful people here at EdTechX for giving me this opportunity. I'm really grateful. And continuing with the question, ma'am. So as many people already said here, we are hearing the word AI almost everywhere. Learning, research, communication, and now also at creativity. So I think for us as students while using AI, I think there are two major things that we need to be concerned about. First one being, how are we using the AI? And the second one, which is very important, is when do we stop using AI? How do we recognize when this AI is crossing its limits or it's becoming unethical? So I think the answer to this question lies in our intent. I think that we should set intrinsic boundaries for ourselves for the use of AI. And while doing this, I also think that we should think about various aspects also. I think the first one is being transparent. So if we ever find the need to hide the use of AI, I think you're already on the wrong path. Instead, if you could raise our hands up and confidently, without any guilt, admit the use of AI in our work. If we say AI has helped me with this work, then maybe it's okay to use AI then. And also the next one is accountability. Because sometimes, as my peer here right said, it might make mistakes as well. So when these AI tools make mistakes, who is accountable? Is the computer accountable, ma'am? No, right? We can't punish the computer. It's us who are accountable and responsible for the use of AI. So the use of AI does not remove the need for responsibility. It doesn't remove the need for accuracy as well. Instead, ethical use means we verify, question, and stand by what AI is producing. And finally, ma'am, I think ethical use also means about the impact which we are creating with these AI tools. Because if the way we are using AI, if it is not promoting learning, instead if it's promoting a dependency on these AI tools, I think we must be concerned about that. So I think ethical use is not about creating strict rules, which should be done, but along with that, we must build habits that guide us. So to conclude, I would just like to say, if we build habits that which helps us use this AI responsibly, then AI won't cross any boundaries because we won't let it.
Very well said, Sai. I would say that definitely. And a point what he has raised is, if we become dependent, that is when it is crossing. So let's not become dependent. Let's make it used as only a tool which is needed whenever it is required. My next question goes to Shrikar from the Brahman Talent High School. Shrikar, you have the mic with you, I suppose, right? Have you ever witnessed or been tempted to misuse AI?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Personally, I haven't really messed with AI. I have used it for personal purposes, which would be misused. So, basically, if you're using it to complete an assignment or for any other preposterous reason, you would be not putting your own effort. And even though AI can save time, it can harm your learning efficiency. I've also seen how AI can
Check the mic, no? Excuse me.
I've also seen how AI can produce really confident answers, but most of them are incomplete. So, what I suggest you to do is do your own research without trusting the source blindly. And secondly, critical thinking is more important in this AI driven world more than ever.
So I thought I'll get a lot of answers where it has been misused, but he has taken it to a different page altogether because I tried to misuse AI at times too, being an adult. So I was expecting some other answer. Thank you so much for being so ethically conscious about things, son. So my next question would go to Akshay from Gitanjali Senior School. Akshay, do students fully understand data piracy today?
Firstly, I'd like to thank the faculty here to give me this opportunity to speak in front of such qualified speakers. And secondly, I'd like to apologize for my appearance. There was a death in my family, so I'm really shabby right now. Okay, moving towards the question. To address the question directly, most students do not fully understand data privacy. This gap has significant impact in this era where AI plays such a big effect on all our lives. Legal scholar Daniel J. Solon has stated that privacy is rarely lost in one dramatic moment. It is lost in small bits of quiet surrender. Students routinely give away personal information through quick consent clicks, unexamined app permissions, and casual interactions with AI tools, often without considering the long-term consequences. This becomes especially devastating with AI, which depends on data to function. AI systems do not merely store information, they learn from it. When students upload essays or provide sensitive data, it contributes to a data sets that influence algorithmic behavior and potentially create digital profiles about each one of us. Understanding that every allow cookies or I understand button clicked is information being shared to databases. It is essential as it helps protecting privacy and ensures fairness and sustains trust in technological systems that we understand what we are giving away and read the terms and conditions, which we barely ever do. So privacy is no longer optional. It is a foundational requirement for responsible digital citizenship. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay. Again, having said that, students are known for mischief, students are known for pranks. So for them to understand privacy, I think it is us educators to make them realize the importance of privacy and piracy too. Thank you so much, Akshay. My next question goes to Karan Sharma from Silver Oaks International. Should schools have strict rules for AI usage, or is it self-regulation better? A very important question. I'm sure all of you must be waiting for this answer.
Yeah, so good afternoon, ma'am. It is indeed a very important question because these days, let's be honest, we have seen students around just going to AI. What is 1 plus 1? It's 2. Oh, okay. Well, I was really excited to answer this question, mainly because we at Silver Oaks are facing a similar problem. And so self-regulation versus strict rules, right? Strict rules means that there should be no AI, which is wrong because AI is important for the future. And if we absolutely cut off AI from the students, then we will face problems at the future, right? But if you're talking about self-regulation is always better because once somebody can self-regulate themselves, it means they have reached a certain maturity level they're able to understand that why I'm not doing that. For example, when I'm trying to control my weight, I would not eat junk food. I would eat healthy food. But at the same time, we are trying. I'm talking about maturity, and I'm talking about students at the same time. Now, students do not really understand things. They're not really mature. They are not able to control themselves from junk food. How can we expect them to control themselves from AI? So, to tackle this problem, we basically said that we cannot put strict rules, we cannot self regulate either. Let's do them both. So, we said, let's ask the students to make the rules. This gives them a better understanding of why we are making the rules, why we should not use AI that much, and it pretty much brings in the maturity. It's a committed self-regulation, you know.
Very well said, Karan. We cannot either be very strict, neither can we give them that space where they can use it all by themselves, because students being students, so schools have to take a very conscious call where they can blend both of them and ensure that when they're supposed to be very strict or when they can give that self-regulation to a student. My next question goes to... Okay. So backside, you're not able to hear. I'm going to repeat the question twice. The question is, how can you ensure you submitted work still representing your own thinking, which is not copy-paste? I repeat the question. How can you ensure you submitted your work still with your own thought process? And the question goes to Rosalina from Vista International School.
Good afternoon and namaste to every respectable human being of flesh and blood present here. Why did I start the way I did? Because in a world where an intelligence that is not of our own can forge our ideas, we must be doubly sure of our surroundings. In this moment of technological upheaval, the challenge is not to outpace AI, but to transcend it. So in this segment of ethics and responsible use of AI, let me tell you how to defend what machines cannot replicate: emotional depth, lived experience, and moral imagination. First off, we must remember that AI is meant to be an assistant only. Secondly, begin with the draft, which is the hardest step of any masterpiece. This very speech, for example. The base draft was my own. The arrangements of points was facilitated by AI, protecting my authenticity. Thirdly, with the drafting done, give it an identity that resonates with your intuition. Add your own anecdotes, and mind you, never let your reins waver. Fourthly, as a student of political science, I deliberate and debate every corner, every nook and corner of my creation so as to ensure the essence behind my creation is always vivid. Finally, we have reached the big R word: responsibility, that comes with using AI ethically, sustainably, and with a humongous amount of accountability and mindfulness. For instance, I bet you didn't know that one ChatGPT request is equivalent to pouring out a bottle of water or powering a light bulb for 15 minutes. Through ethical use of AI, we must aim to imprint our authentic self on the work we create. In this age, we don't need capes or superpowers, but only the courage to let our unique humanity shine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosaline. I think you have very well put it across. In an era where AI is inevitable by all of us, but the thoughts have to be yours, the flow has to be yours. Maybe the vocabulary, the sentences, or the words can be taken from the AI. My next question goes to Nivedita from the Gaudium School. Does AI create inequality among students who rely on it differently? Pass the mic now. It's okay.
Is AI the great equalizer in education, or is it the latest tool that we depend on to divide the difference between privileged and marginalized? A heartful afternoon, everyone. My name is Nivedita Pawar, and I proudly represent Gaudium. I am a class 11 student, and I am honored to stand before you to discuss the main topic, that is AI profounding the impact in education. Well, let's not mince words. AI in technology is neither inherently good nor bad. The way it is implemented in our classrooms can either uplift the students' creativity or cement the rules of inequality. I repeat again, we talk about AI as though it's some kind of universal solution or a magic wand that revolutionizes the education system. But here's the truth, AI in education is not neutral. The thing is, AI in education, it's mainly depending on the data of how the creators make it. And most importantly, the access to data varies widely across different communities. Consider this, a 2023 study report from University of California, Berkeley shows that more than 30% of the students from the underprivileged families have very less access to high quality AI education while compared to their wealthier ones. When this is the inequality they face compared to a student who is studying in a rural area and the student from the Silicon Valley, do we see a lot of major difference here? AI is not accessible to everyone in every part of the world. Believe it or not, UNESCO's 2022 report reveals that 40% of the students in the rural areas cannot fully engage with AI tools. It's because lack of digital literacy. And let's talk about data bias. It's mainly the dominant cities like Europe countries and the United States who have the reliance of data. What if the student learning in different communities have language communication issues, or we learn Hindi and Urdu just like in India? What will happen to such students and how will they rely on AI? When AI is mainly based on English, it's never correct, and it itself says that it's never 100% right. So, the real thing is, here's the punchline. AI isn't the villain, people are. The problem does not lie in technology itself, but how the equity of the technology is being established. We demand better data, better access, and better training, not just for students, but for teachers too. If we are not giving our educators the need to integrate AI into their teaching, they both and the students will have disadvantage out of it.
Very beautifully said, Nivedita. AI is not anyone's enemy. It is just a tool. It is all dependent on you as to how you would be using it. Very well said. Moving my next question to Nirav from Gitanjali. How do you think for originality when AI helps you so much?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for the question. So I think that is the biggest challenge we face right now. AI models are not completely open, meaning that their training data is hidden. So we cannot blindly trust the information source. So as students, we have to assume every AI output is flawed and proven until proven otherwise. We look for the machine signature, as popularly called, that is the predictable text and the uniform style it leaves behind. So to solve this, I have developed a simple framework that everybody here can use. It's called CORE, C-O-R-E. So C is for constraint and context. We don't let the AI just browse the entire internet, we constrain it. So there's a tool called Notebook LM that is introduced by Google and everybody can use it. So what it does is that it forces the AI to look only at the sources we provide. So if the AI cannot point to a specific source in my notes, I treat the information as unusable. So it becomes originable when I treat it the source and give it to it. O stands for open scrutiny. So we treat every sentence that AI generates as a claim and not a fact. Because AI often produces surface level arguments that sound good, but they absolutely mean nothing. So we have to change those statements by actually giving good prompts. R stands for rhetoric. So this is where the human part comes in. AI output is often uniform and very robotic, filled with those emoji-filled M dashes that nobody really likes. So what we can do is, we can inject the human flair and we can develop such prompts that will actually make AI to sound like us. And finally, E is for the evidence-based logic. So we verify because AI can make up entire studies out of thin air. So we can use tools like Perplexity also to check if a citation actually exists or if the AI just made it to please us, because that's the case normally. So to implement this, we stop using AI just to write for us. This is the core method, CORE as I said, and we can use also sandwich method. That is, you prompt the AI first, AI generates it, and finally we verification, the human verification is last. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much again, Nirav. He says use the two techniques, which is the core and the sandwich. So by them, you can validate whether whatever you're getting is authentic or not. My final question for the first segment goes to Anya from the Iris Florist. What future ethical risk should students be most aware of?
First of all, a very happy afternoon to one and all here, and I hope I see a smile on everyone's face. So let me continue with the question. We are living in a world where AI is moving, where AI and technology are moving faster than ever. That's very exciting. But it also means that we need to think wisely about the choices we make. We can't just randomly go and say, okay, A is B and B is C and all. We have to think. We have to be critical thinkers here. One of the major risks is misuse of AI and technology, because AI can help us design, it can help us write, create, and even calculate very quickly. But if we depend on it too much, we might forget how to think for ourselves. We won't have our own thinking. Also, using AI dishonestly, like for cheating or copying work, may not seem too big now. It may just seem like a small problem right now. But it's going to affect your skills, your integrity, and your future. One more risk is privacy. Every app we use collects our information. And if we are not careful about what we post online, it can be used in ways we don't even expect, sometimes even against us. So it is very important to understand digital safety. And finally, I would like to bring up that we also have to take care about not forgetting the empathy, because with the future, one of the major future ethical risks is losing empathy, with screens replacing real conversations where two people have a chit chat, where they try to understand each other. Nowadays, everybody is forgetting kindness. They're not even trying to understand humanity. Where is the humanism in two people talking through a screen? I say that we should not forget kindness, humanity, and value the true relationship of two people. Thank you.
Very, very well said, Anya. In an era we are so much glued with technology, which is stuck to us 24/7, we forget or tend to lose on the human touch. With this, we come to the conclusion of the first segment, where everyone strongly believes that ethical literacy or ethical consciousness is very important. And while using AI, we need to use it more responsibly. Moving to the next segment, very important. How does actually AI helps in creativity and critical thinking? In this, my first question again goes to Ishan. Does AI help students become more creative or reduce imagination?
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, this question is one that I hear quite often, actually. So, in context, I'm pretty sure that half of us, or if not all of us here, have used AI to at least research what this topic was about. So, yeah, again, we cannot say that's a bad thing, because going through AI, asking AI these questions has only gotten us more points. More points that we're talking about here, more points to talk to the audience about. So it's not inherently a bad thing. So it has both sides. It has a good side and it has a bad side. So the most honest answer is that it can do both. It can be both good and bad. AI has the ability to just give us ideas just like that. If we have a blank page and we ask it, if we give it a few prompts, suddenly that page is full. We have a lot of ideas that we can go through. We have a lot of ideas that we can expand upon. So yes, AI does give us ideas, but that same convenience can quickly become a limitation if we're not conscious about how we use it. Creativity isn't just about having ideas. It's about how we get those ideas. How do we shape those ideas? We reject some ideas, we think about some ideas, and then we make up some ideas on our own. So when we give it to AI, when AI, it shortens that process. We do not get the same amount of mental stimulation, or the thought process that goes behind the idea it's not present there. So that is a very big limitation of AI that we need to address consciously. So this is the real risk of AI as I think it is. So the difference often comes down to how active we remain in the process behind it. When we use AI to stretch out our thinking, it genuinely strengthens how we learn, how we study. So, but then when we allow it to make decisions for us, that's where the problem lies. We stop asking, what do I want to do? We ask, what would AI want me to do? What does AI think? That is a very big problem. So the question isn't whether AI is good or bad. It's about whether we use it as a tool to help us think, or whether we use it as a tool that is a substitute for our imagination. So the technology itself is not the deciding factor. The deciding factor is how we use it. Thank you, ma'am. That's all.
So with Ishan's answer saying that AI can either enhance your creativity or your imagination. If you're glued to it, addicted to it, it can also reduce. With the same question moving forward, my next question goes to Akshay from Gitanjali again. Can AI be considered creative, or does creativity remain only with the human beings?
Before I start with the answer, I see a few people getting a little bit bored with us, but this is more opinion based, so you'll get to know a bit more about each one of us. So bear with us for some more time. And to answer the question, AI can replicate forms of creative output, but creativity absolutely remains fundamentally a human skill. Though AI is capable of generating artworks, composing music, etc., these are all derived from computational pattern recognition rather than original thought and experience. In other words, or in the words of Steve Jobs, computers are like bicycles for the mind. They enhance human capability but do not replicate human intentionality. AI's so-called creativity is derivative, as I stated. It emerges from existing data, not from independent imagination or subjective interpretation. Human creativity, by contrast, is shaped by consciousness and meaning. Toni Morrison described art as the witness and record of our lives. AI does not witness life. It does not experience joy, conflict, curiosity, or reflection. These qualities give human creativity a depth and its authenticity. While AI can expand the margin of creative possibilities, it does not possess the purpose, emotional grounding, or experiences that characterize true creative expression of us humans. AI may stimulate aspects of intelligence, but it cannot partake in experimental decision taking, which is the essence of human creativity, like a random brushstroke on a painting or whatever. It's mostly experimentational. Thus, while AI can assist and augment creativity, the essence of creativity remains inherently human. With that, I'd like to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay. Again, AI was created by human beings. So definitely creativity is within us. It's just that we have started relying more on something which is more technical as a tool, as a technology. Moving on to the next question. The next question is to you, Rosalina. How do you keep your own style visible when AI supports your work? When AI supports your work?
There was once a scintillating star. And no, it was definitely not AI, for it didn't have a unique flair of its own. Greetings to all stardusted humans. In this segment of creativity and critical thinking, we will tackle a pertinent question. How do you keep your own style visible when AI supports your work? The key word here is support. You're the one in charge. You should maneuver the reins and use them to amplify your voice. The human mind is a fascinating place. It can make multifarious connections, something that AI couldn't possibly do on its own. These connections are what makes humans distinct from AI. Like William Plummer had said, creativity is the power to connect the seemingly unconnected. The anecdotes we use have no meaning until we bring out their true essence. It is our lived examples that add life to these rather meaningless words. Ironic, right? For what are words if they have no meaning, no connection to what or how we feel? AI is here to unburden us and to act as our thinking companion without surrendering our human scent. We are a summation of stardust and our lived experiences, guided by emotional and intuitive insight, are what creates the lived reality. AI has a cap, and hence we must not stop imparting our knowledge. We must not lose our satirical intent to critique normative standards. My dear peers, we are the future of tomorrow, and so we must start the action from today. This can only happen when we step up and balance the playing field, one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosalina. So very well said. Again, I would say that your visibility will always be there because AI is just a support, not the entire coexistence of things which are there in the universe. My next question goes to Anya. Share a moment when AI helped you to think differently about a project.
Okay, so I want to tell you everything, but I'm going to tell it in very short. I see everybody here is very tired. I see everybody as a shining star, so I want you all to keep
One
smiling.
moment, Anya. I think all of you can clap loudly and say you're active. You're not tired, actually.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see everybody smiling. Okay, so I did ask AI for help, and it was not a school project. It was something personal. My mother's birthday was coming up, and I don't want to boast or anything, but I say I'm very talented. I can do sketches, I can sing, I can dance, and all of that. I've done everything I could think for her, literally. I've made sketches, I've written letters, and I was completely out of ideas. Out of curiosity, I asked an AI tool for help. And I expected it to give me a list of gift ideas, but I was surprised by what it told me. It told me to think, and it suggested me to just imagine what my mother would feel, what would get on her emotional side. It told me to look at the emotional side of the gift and understand. So I thought for a moment. It told me not to create an object, but to create a moment which we could both cherish. So instead of focusing on a gift, I started thinking about creating a memory which we could both keep. And you should have seen the moment. That moment, I realized AI is not just a machine that gives quick answers, but it also gives us a push and helps us, it motivates us, and it helps us see the problem from different angles. I saw tears roll out of my mother's eyes when I gave her a small piece of paper. I dedicated myself to her each day for a task, and she was literally so happy. And I couldn't imagine, like, an AI tool helped me make given a stronger emotional connection to my mother with just a small piece of paper.
Thank you, Anya. I think it also triggers the emotions and sentiments. So AI is not a dead tool. It's a tool which can trigger. Moving on to the next question. It is to Shrikar from Brahman Talent. Do instant AI answers make students think less deeply? A little bit faster. I think we are running short of time.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Firstly, I would like to grab everyone's attention. Okay, anyone who's listening, can you please raise your hands?
All are listening.
My God, everyone is listening.
Thank you.
So, the way you raise your hand is the same way I give a prompt to the AI and it answers back. Nothing comes out of me. Nothing of my working efficiency. It's all the AIs. So basically, this is what happens with students. They use the AI for the answers and we just give the questions. Nothing comes out of from us. No working efficiency. So what happens is the creators of the AI get more money while our minds become gulab jamuns. Obviously, because we are using AI for our daily needs, assignments, projects, etc., etc. So instead of using that, daily we can at least read a book, gather some information, write on it, or work hard on it, except beside using AI or any other. We give the prompt, the AI answers it, nothing comes out from us, and our brains become mush. So instead of doing this daily and depending on the speed of the answer, the students who learn the right way will learn it the right way. But the students who are lazy and procrastinate, they will really lose in life. I had a friend, his name was Aditya. He used to use AI daily. What happened was, during the finals, he used AI for a social exam, and out of 80, he got 14 because none of the hard work was his, it was the AI's. So instead of using the AI for our personal gain of assignments or projects, we can use it for our personal gain of knowledge, not assignments. So what I'd like to say is, in the end, the instant answer is not the problem. It's the way how the student uses it. It all depends upon the perspective. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm moving to the next question. I'm told to do a rapid fire now. Kids, 2 sentences, not more than that. So the next question goes to Nivedita. How do you verify or challenge something AI tells you? It's a rapid fire, okay?
Let me begin with a question. Have you ever asked anything to AI and believed it instantly? Well, later you discovered it was completely wrong. If your answer is no, congratulations, you're officially the first human in history to achieve that. Let's remember a simple truth. AI speaks with confidence, not with clarity. A 2023 Stanford study reveals that AI produces incorrect information 27% of the time, and 60% of the time users do believe it. Let me walk through a step-by-step method of how we can actually question AI. First step would be ask AI how it actually works. In a sense, question the data where it's getting from. Cross-check the real-world resources. Look for the inconvenient questions it's answering. Then use your critical thinking. That's the most prior thing which we have to look at, because we are not raising a generation which is all giving the heavy work to the AI and thinking without no sense. Accept that AI is a tool, not a truth teller. Last but not the least, we need to work on the concept where AI is just a tool, not a machine which will help you do all your homeworks. A global education survey in 2023 shows that 42% of the students admitted arguing with AI, hoping it would eventually give the answer. And guess what? Sometimes it actually does. If this tells you that AI is helpful, not powerful, but it is also powerful and revolutionary and not a questionable thing, well, we can also question AI. Let me end this with a simple thought. AI can make faster, smarter, and more efficient, but only if we remain in one's control. Because the future of learning should not be about AI replacing our thinking. It should be about AI expanding our thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, Nivedita. Moving my next question to Karan from Silver Oaks. What strategies help you analyze or compare AI-generated information?
Yeah, so rapid fire, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, I analyzed there are two kinds of answers which AI gives. One is data-based and one is spontaneously. So data-based is like 2000, what was global population? And spontaneously is like, what is the, let's say, integral of, I don't know, x square? Anyway, so there are two kinds of answers. I hope you understood that. And in data-based answers, you have to watch out for something called hallucinations. Now, AI sometimes just to feed your eyes and make it look good, it feeds in some good-looking answers. So in 2000, maybe it was 4 billion, but maybe it was 5 billion, who knows? And to overcome this, to overcome the problem of hallucination, we just ask the AI to give it its sources. That's my first strategy. Now, the sources have to be trusted, HTTPS, the S matters. And like, you have to get from trusted sources, right? And for the spontaneously sort of answers, well, firstly, that I have two strategies here. So if humans can reflect, by reflect I mean when you're writing a maths exam and you have, you go through one question over and over and over and over again just to make sure that you get that one extra mark, I mean reflection. So I ask, if human intelligence can reflect, why can't AI? So I ask AI to reflect upon its own answer. And the second strategy
Son,
is,
rapid fire, not a descriptive answer.
I'm rapid firing my sorry.
Okay, please go ahead.
Last strategy, okay, third strategy. Now, my third strategy is go check with another AI. So if I've asked ChatGPT the question, I'll ask Perplexity the same question, and I'll see, compare the answers, and I'll check out if it's true. You know, yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, and sorry to cut you short. My next question goes to Sai from Pragati. How can AI support, not replace, problem solving and reasoning? Rapid fire. It's not me, the hosts are asking me to run.
Yes, ma'am. I'll try to convey my message in a concise manner. So firstly, I think that this question is the need of the hour. How do we use AI in such a way that it will support us, but it will not replace us? Because honestly, right now, many of us are talking about AI replacing us in our jobs, right? So I think actually it could be possible in the opposite way also. AI could be the single greatest amplifier of human thinking, but only if we use it in the right way. So the real question is not can AI solve problems, but it is how can AI make us better problem solvers. So the concise answer for that is how we are choosing to work with it. So let's be honest, AI can scan and gather information much faster than any student can. So it gives us a lot of possibilities and patterns and information, but AI cannot do the judgment for us. So we have a lot of data which AI gave us, but the judgment, that thinking must be from our end. And also to, AI, it can summarize for us, it can format for us, it can calculate for us, but it won't judge things for us. So to conclude, I would like to just end on one note. The moment we let AI decide for us, we lose our capabilities. But the moment we use AI to challenge and question our processes, then we grow sharper but not dependent on it.
Thank you, Sai. My last and final question goes to Neerav from Gitanjali. What new thinking skills will students need to thrive alongside with AI?
I would just like to go on the crux of the question. So the real skill that I think so we all need to develop is computational mindset. So we have to learn to think logically just like the computer does. So ultimately we have to think like the computer in order to get the output that we rightfully want. So there are 3 skills that we need to focus on. The first is analytical synthesis. So we need to use the AI to generate ideas. We keep on generating the ideas and we have to use our own mind to actually find flaws in them. So ultimately you get such a great idea that no human being can even generate because you have trained it, you have generated it so much. So the second thing is logic and language mastery. So there's a huge misconception that we don't need to learn how to write, we don't need to learn how to think or while using AI because that does it for us. That is the biggest misconception because writing is thinking. So the more better prompts that we give, the more better inputs that we give, the better outputs we receive. So that is a very simple thing that we all need to inculcate in our daily output and all. And the third is AI literacy. We need to teach students how to actually prompt and to learn prompt engineering. Seeing all of these education institutions out there, I request all of you to please please include AI literacy as a subject because this will not only benefit teachers, but this will benefit us students as well. And the world is only going to be better by inculcating all of this stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Neerav, for the suggestion and the conclusion. I think they deserve a big round of applause. Can we appreciate them?
So small announcement, Ms. Dr. Swati.